VB theory, valency bond theory. And according to the valency bond theory, the central metal atom should provide empty orbitals, that is s-p-d orbital, that is required, which are required to overlap with effective ligands. So that is the responsibility of the central metal atom. According to VB theory, the central metal atom should be responsible to provide enough number of s-p-d orbitals to overlap with the ligands present in the complexes. That is the first one. And after that, what is the responsibility of ligand? Ligands should have, every ligand should have at least one lone pair of electrons, okay, that should be present in the sigma bonding atomic orbital. Okay, ligand should have at least one lone pair of electrons to make the sigma bonding, and the central metal atom should have empty s-p-d orbitals to overlap with ligands. And one more thing, before the central metal atom is going and overlapping with the ligands, the empty s-p-d orbitals should overlap with each other, should hybridize with each other, and resulting the formation of new orbital, that is hybrid orbitals. Okay, again in this hybridization, suppose if d orbitals are hybridizing, if inner d orbitals are participated, inner orbital complexes, and outer orbitals are formed, outer d orbitals are involving, then outer orbital complexes. Like this again, based upon the which type of d orbital is involving in the hybridization. If suppose in case of octahedral complexes, 6 ligands we need. Out of 6 ligands, 1 s, 3 p, and remaining 2 d orbital. The 2 d orbitals may be from inner or outer. If it is inner orbital complex d2sp3, outer orbital complex, that is sp3d2. Okay, and he also said that in case, suppose sometimes what happen, usually the filling up of electrons in this after overlapping, the filling up of electrons in this overlapped orbitals is purely based upon Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. But sometimes what happened, there was a rearrangement, a overlapping of electrons may take place in the orbitals. Overlapping of, it's against to the Hund's rule when in case of presence of strong field ligands. So in case of presence of strong field ligands, what happened, there was a possibility of overlapping which is against to the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. In case of weak field ligands, they purely follows Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Okay, the overlapping is according to Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity in case of weak field ligands. That is why strong field ligands also we call it as what, low spin complexes, also what, hyperligated complexes, or else what, okay, this is about the strong field ligands. And weak field ligands also we call it as a hypoligated complexes or high spin complexes. Okay, so this is about the just some postulates about the valency bond theory. And one more thing, in this valency bond theory they given ligand strength, based upon the strength of the ligands, what are weak field ligands and what are strong field ligands. Let us see the first one, I minus. First of all, I will write it from H2O, oxalato, oxide, hydroxide. Okay, all oxygens will come, oxalato, oxide, hydroxide. Next one, NO3 minus. Next, after that, fluoride. Fluoride will come. Next one, sorry, here fluoride will come, here nitrate. And then SH minus chloride, here you write chloride, SH, and bromide iron. Okay, and one more thing, here itself one more, that is what, SCN minus will come, SCN minus. Okay, thiocyanate. So this is what, these all are what weak field ligands. These all are weak field ligands. Okay, if you remember, it's okay, fine. Even if you don't remember, it's not a problem. I will give the hint. Don't be worried. This is what weak field ligands. Next, after in this strength of ligand, in this ligand strength series, after water, whatever the ligands are coming, those are all ligands we call it as what, strong field ligands. In that, strongest ligand is CO, thereafter Cn minus, thereafter diphenpyridine DIPY, and thereafter NO2 minus, and then oxalate over. So next one, NO2 minus, remaining DMG, ethylene diamine, EN, dimethyl glyoxime, and the last one is NCS minus. Okay, so these all are what, strong field ligands. And one more thing, here in this case, here also NH3 will come. NH3 is also strong field ligand. Okay, anyhow, there was no need of this particular order. You just remember NCS, EN, DMG, NH3, NO2, DI, dipyridine, Cn minus, CO is a strong field ligands. These all are weak field ligands. How to remember? Simple trick here. In any ligand, if the donating side is a carbon or nitrogen, then definitely it is a strong field ligand. Okay, so what is a trick to identify, and this trick may be useful to you to identify the hybridization quickly. To differentiate the given ligand is a strong or weak field, it will be very, very useful. What is it? For any donor, for any ligand, if donating site is carbon or nitrogen, except, only one exception is there, except N minus 3, nitride ion. Except this one, remaining all, if the donating site is a carbon and nitrogen, remaining all are strong field. Strong field. Okay, see that. Let us recheck this hint is applicable to these strong field ligands or not. In CO, C is a donating site, so no problem. Cn minus carbon. Dipyridine, in dipyridine carbon only attached. Dipyridine, nitrogen is attached. So carbon and nitrogen, anyone. So dipyridine is also satisfying. NO2 nitrogen. DMG, dimethyl glyoxime. O is a dimethyl glyoxime. O, so it should not be strong field ligand. You remove the DMG, you keep it there. The weak field ligand. Okay, ethylene diamine, nitrogen is the site. So definitely. And next NCS minus, nitrogen. Clear? So all the strong field ligands having the donating site of either carbon or nitrogen. Okay, and one more thing. This is one hint. And one more thing. If the metal atom is CO plus 3, not even CO plus 2. No. If the metal atom is CO plus 3, then in this series, you should start taking from hereafter, from oxalate onwards, you should take it as a strong field ligands. That means for CO plus 3, for cobalt plus 3 ions, oxalate and water is also, you should consider it as a strong field ligand. For the remaining all, you should start from isothiocyanate. Understood? Clear? So for the remaining all metal atoms, water is a weak field ligand and oxalate is a weak field ligand, but only CO plus 3 ion, okay, we should consider the oxalate ion and the water as a strong field ligand. Okay, so you just remember these two hints, definitely you can explain the hybridization, the geometries. Let us apply this concept to these complexes and also that complexes. These are the special cases, no? Okay, and these are the regular cases. Let us see. So nickel is a central atom, and nickel is in which oxidation state? Nickel is in +2 oxidation state. plus 2 oxidation state. So nickel plus 2, nickel atomic number 28. So S2 D8, remove 2 electrons, D8 configuration. D8 configuration. So D8 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D8 configuration. So for D8 configuration, okay, and one more thing, one more hint you remember. This is very important, this hint. See that. We know that the 5 d orbitals after the crystal field theory you can understand. These first 3 you consider as what? T2G set. Next 2 we consider as what? EG set. T2G set and EG set. Electrons in the T2G set. Electron from T2G to T2G will not have. That means the electrons which are present in T2G to T2G will not allow. It is not possible. Similarly, overlapping from EG to EG also will not possible. But electron from EG set to T2G, it is possible. Understood? Electrons overlapping within the orbitals of T2G set is not possible. EG set of orbitals also not possible, but electron can easily jump from EG to T2G is possible. Okay, and one more thing. If in case of D8 configuration, in case of D8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D8 configuration, last two, D4, D5. In case of D4, sorry, not D4, coordination number 4, coordination number 5. That means in case of square planar or trigonal biplanar. In these two cases, this pairing is allowed. Okay, in case of coordination number 4 and 5, the spin pairing in case of D8 configuration is possible. But in case of coordination number 6, it is not possible. Remember this, very important. In case of coordination number 6, D8 configuration, spin pairing is not allowed. Only in case of coordination number 4 and 5 only, in case of D8 configuration, this pairing up of electrons is allowed. Okay, ma. So this is these are here 3 and here 1. Total 4 hints. If you remember, I think you can apply these hints to these examples. Let us see. Nickel plus 2. In this case, this is the D8 configuration. In this case, okay, in the case of coordination number 4, it is possible, but it depends upon the strength of the ligand. Look at the ligand strength. Chlorine. All halide ions are weak field ligands. So in case of weak field ligands, it will not be paired up. So sp2 D, sp2D configuration, sp2D. Why? Because coordination number 4 na, so instead of dsp2, sp2D will be involved. Okay, so what is the hybridization? sp2D hybridization, and its magnetic behavior is 2.7 something will come. Okay, so this is the first one. Next, tetracyanone nickel. In case of tetracyanone nickel, nickel is in +2 oxidation state. Okay, so nickel +2 configuration, D8 configuration. Now, cyanide is a strong field ligand. Now what happened? It will be paired up. So configuration is DsP2. DsP2 square planar. What is the magnetic behavior? 0. So this is sp2d, and this is what? sp2d. And one more thing, it is previously this is not dsp2d, no, sp3 tetrahedral. Okay, not dsp2, sp3 tetrahedral structure. So this is a tetrahedral structure. This is what? Square planar complex. Next one, FeCO5. If you see the FeCO, pentacarbonyl ion, Iron is in zero oxidation state, and coordination number 5, and zero oxidation state means atomic number 26, configuration S2D6. Here you may get that out. S2D6. Okay, but without s orbital there was no hybridization. There was no overlapping. So there was no chance this s electron jumps to D. And check the carbonyl is the strongest field ligand. So in case of this complex, 1, 2, 3, 4, total S2D6, total 8 electrons are available. So they will fill like this. Okay, sp3. Now tell me what is the hybridization one? dsp3. So dsp3 with hybridization. Why? Because coordination number 5 means either dsp3 or sp3d, anything is possible. Next, go to the COC2 means trioxylato cobalt. In this case, cobalt is in which oxidation state? +3 oxidation state. Cobalt +3 means cobalt +3. I told you, in case of cobalt +3, the strongest, from here onwards we should consider as what? Strong field ligands. So oxalato is a strong field ligand. Okay, so CO +3, write the configuration of CO +3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sp3. Now cobalt 27 +3 means 26. D6 configuration will come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but oxalate is a strong field ligand. Now what happens? These two electrons will enter into, will pair it up. So now D2sp3. D2sp3. So what is the magnetic behavior? This is a D2sp3. Magnetic nature is 0. Okay. Next, move on to the next one. PdCl4. Tetrachloropalladium -2. PdCl4 -2. Here palladium is in +2 oxidation state. One point to remember, if the central metal atom is either 4d series of element or 5d series of element, 4d or 5d. Okay, this strength of the ligand is applicable only for 3d central metal atoms. If the central metal atom is of 4d or 5d, irrespective of the type of the ligand, you should consider all the ligands as strong field ligands. Okay, no doubt, no need to think further. Okay, in case of central metal atom is either 4d series of element or 5d series of element, all the ligands you should consider as what? Strong field ligands only. Now chloride generally is a weak field ligand, but it's a palladium is what? Palladium is a 4d series of element. So definitely you should consider this as what? Strong field ligand. Okay, now palladium is a 5d series of belongs to 4d series of element. It comes under nickel. So nickel having plus a D8 configuration. Okay, palladium D10. See in that D10 configuration with it. So D10 means s orbital electrons have jumped to D8. So D8 becomes a D10. Now +2 state means you should remove the 2 electrons. So it's again become D8 configuration. Again PD is having D8 configuration. So in case of D8 configuration, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But chlorine, of course, originally it is a weak field ligand. But in case of 4d or 5d central metal atoms, every ligand should be considered as a strong field. Pairing up of takes place. So if it will go to here. So the configuration becomes what? DsP2. DsP2. So here, what is the geometry here? Actually, we think that tetrachloropalladium should be what? We should think that it is a tetrahedral structure, but experimentally when we found it is a square planar with a diamagnetic behavior. So this is about some examples of PV theory. Next, exceptional cases. Let us see few special cases. So this is a brown ring complex. Penta-imino-nitroso-iron. So their iron is in which oxidation state? +1 oxidation state. So in this case, what is the hybridization of iron. Okay, if you see the iron is in +1 oxidation state, and the ammonium ion is a strongophile ligand. So what do you think? Generally Fe+1. Fe+1. So Fe+1 means D6S1 will come, but without S we cannot. So just shift to here. So what happened? It will shift from here to here. Finally, okay. So this is the configuration. Now tell me, it's a strongophile ligand, right? 5 strongophile ligands are there. Okay, Fe is NH3 5, NO, NH3, ammonia is a strongophile ligand. So because of presence of strongophile ligand, this is also possible. Because up to here T2G, these are easy. Easy to T2G is possible. Easy to T2G overlapping, the electron arrangement is possible. So this electron jump from here to here. So that what happened? This becomes like this. Now D2sp3. D2sp3. So that it is a octahedral geometry with a diamagnetic behavior. So next move to this chromium NH36. What about hexaaminochromium +3? Here chromium is in which oxidation state? +3 oxidation state. So chromium +3 means chromium +3. Okay, chromium 24 means S1 D5. You remove 3 electrons, D3 configuration will come. D3. 1, 2, 3. But these 3 are what? T2G set. Is this electron rearrangement takes place in T2G? It is not possible, right? Already told you in the hints. Electron rearrangement cannot possible between T2G, EG. It is only allowed only from EG to T2G. So it is not possible, no doubt. Even though it is the strongest ligand also, it is not possible. So irrespective of that, what is that? It is D2sp3 will come. And what is the magnetic behavior here? 3 point something will come. That is the point here. Next one, hexaquachromium. Now in this case also, what happened? H2O is strong. Here also chromium +3 state, and H2O is a weak field ligand. So what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between first and second case? So there's no difference, right? So chromium +3. Okay, here even though it is a strong field ligand, it is not possible, and even weak field ligand not possible. So finally, they both are having the same structure and it's the same magnetic behavior. Next, hexaaminochromium, chromium +2, hexaaminochromium +2. So chromium +2 state. So now what is the configuration? +2 means 3 D4 configuration will come. Now in case of D4, tell me, this is a D4 configuration. Now it is possible now because it's easy set. Easy to T2G is possible. So this electron, one of the electron will jump from here to here. Okay, the remaining 2 electron remains as it is. Why? Because this is a T2G electron, it is also T2G electron. T2G overlapping rearrangement will not take place. That is why even though the ligand is a stronger ligand, these 2 electrons will not rearrange. Only D2sp3 with a magnetic behavior 2 point something will come. Okay, next one, hexaaqua iron. Here iron is in +2 state, 26 D6 configuration. Now D6 configuration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D6 configuration. Now ammonia is a strong field ligand, right? Ammonia is a strong field ligand. Now these 2 electrons will be overlapped and will get like this. So D2sp3 with the zero magnetic moment. Next, move to the crystal field theory. According to the crystal field theory, they consider the ligands as point charges. Ligands as point charges are dipoles. Suppose if it is a negative ligand, negative charge. If it is a neutral ligand, dipole. So they consider ligands as charges, point charges. Now, when these ligands approaches the central metal atom, so what happened? The electrons that are present in the d orbitals before the ligands, see for example, this is the metal atom. So when the central metal atom are approached by the ligands, n number of ligands, okay, so what happened, this is surrounded by ligands. So let us consider 6 ligands surrounded. So before in the free state all 5 d electrons are having the same energy. This is called what? Degeneracy. Once the ligands approaches this central metal atom, what happened, this 5 d orbitals energy somewhat increase. Okay, so ligands approaches the central metal atom, slowly increases. Thereafter these 5 d orbitals are splits into 2 sets. One set we call it as a T2G, another one we call it as EG set. This is a T2G set and a EG set. Okay, and this is what? Barrier line. So because of excitation, de-excitation between these DD transitions, I told you the color of the complex compounds because of DD transitions. So this is about this splitting of degenerate 5d orbitals into T2G set and EG set. We call it as what? Crystal field splitting. Crystal field splitting, and this energy we call it as a crystal field splitting energy. So this crystal field splitting energy in case of octahedral complexes is delta O, in case of tetrahedral complexes is delta T, in case of square planar complexes delta Sp. And in case of, suppose if, what is the difference between let us discuss what is the difference between octahedral, square planar and tetrahedral. Let us see. In case of octahedral, 1 2 3 4 5, okay, first of all they just highlight, so increase, thereafter splits into T2G and EG. Okay, and if the electron, this is a, if the electron enter into this, energy decreased by -2/5. -2/5 is equal to -0.4. And if the electron enter into there, it will be increased by 3/5, that is equal to +0.6. Just remember these values. Okay, so by using that, so that how to calculate the crystal field splitting energy, delta O is equal to -2/5 into x plus 3/5 into y plus pairing energy. By using this formula, delta O we can calculate. Next, this is about octahedral complexes. This is in octahedral complexes. Next, coming to the square planar complexes. So in case of square planar complexes, what happened? The ligands are approaching the central metal atom along the axis only. But what is the difference between octahedral complex and square planar complexes? We should remove the ligands present along the z axis. If you remove the ligands which are present along the z axis, what happened? So first of all 5d orbitals, thereafter little bit increase, and thereafter splits as usual 3 and 2, but what happened? These are further splits. So that is what? 2 1. What is this? This is what? This is one is a dxy and this is one is a dyz, and this is dx square minus y square, and this is a dz square, and this is dz. So like this we are getting different types of this is a splitting, further splitting in case of square planar complexes. Next, tetrahedral complexes. If you see tetrahedral complexes, the approach of ligands in tetrahedral complexes is quite opposite of octahedral complexes. In octahedral complexes, the ligands are approaching along the axis, but in tetrahedral complexes, what is the arrangement of atoms in tetrahedral complexes? The 4 atoms are present at the alternate corners of the cube. Alternate corners. So if you arrange like them, what happens? Those all ligands, 4 ligands are coming between the axis. Which set of orbitals are oriented along the between the axis? T2G set. So definitely there was a strong more repulsions between T2G set and ligands. So the T2G set of orbitals will exit, will get more energy. That is why first 5d orbitals, it will increase like this. Thereafter T2G set will go up and EG set will go down. Okay, and how the energy will come here? So if the electron enter to here, it will increase by minus 3 by 5, that is equal to minus 0.6. If the electron enter there, it will be increased by plus 2 by 5, that is plus 0.4. Plus 0.4. So this is about the tetrahedral complexes. And what is the difference between delta O, delta sp, and delta tetrahedral? When you check these three, so remember that always delta O is always be delta O is greater than delta tetrahedral. When you compare octahedral and tetrahedral, which is having more splitting energy, octahedral splitting is having more energy. And when you compare square planar is having the highest. This is the order. Square planar splitting energy is more than octahedral than tetrahedral. Sometimes what happens, they may give you splitting energy in octahedral and ask you to find out sp. They may give you tetrahedral and ask you to calculate sp. So how to calculate? So there was a relation. No? Remember that splitting energy in square planar, okay, delta sp is always be equal to 4 by 3 times of delta O. Okay, delta sp is equal to 4 by 3 times of delta O. That means 1.33 times of delta O. And one more thing, delta O is equal to 4 by 9 times of delta. What is the relation to the octahedral and tetrahedral? 4 by 9. 4 by 9 means 0.455 something will come. So these are the two relations. By using this, we can easily convert from one splitting energy into another splitting energy. And one more thing, when you are distributing the electrons, here delta O and P, these two will play a strong role, major role. What is a delta O? This is nothing but splitting energy. P means pairing energy. Okay, so now here 2 points you should remember. In case if splitting energy is lesser than pairing energy. Splitting energy is lesser than pairing energy. So which is lesser? Splitting energy is lesser. If splitting energy is lesser, then T2G and EG set are closer. So electrons can easily go to EG set of orbitals. So if delta O, splitting energy is lesser than pairing energy, it is possible in case of weak field ligand. Delta O is lesser than pairing energy is possible in case of weak field ligand, and the filling up of electrons follows Aufbau principle. Next, if del O is greater than P, means splitting energy is larger than pairing energy, then the electrons are trying to pair it up only. Why? Because pairing energy is lesser, na? So which is lesser, to that side it will go to stabilize them. Okay, that is why delta O is greater than pairing energy. So automatically what happened? Okay, it will be possible in case of strong field ligand. So and they are against to Aufbau principle. They are against to Aufbau principle. So this is about the especially this is very important in case of D4 configuration. So in case of D4, if delta not greater than pairing energy. Delta not greater than pairing energy means strong field ligand. Strong field ligand, how the electrons will split now? This is T2G and EG. How the electrons will go? Delta O greater than P means strong field. Strong field means where the fourth electron will enter into? It will enter into T2G set only. Suppose if delta not lesser than P, then now what will happen? It follows Hund's rule. So 1, 2, 3, 4th electron will enter into EG set of orbitals. Very important point. Please remember. Okay. And one more thing. In for D1 configuration, D2 configuration, D3 configuration. D1, D2, D3. And the last one D8, D9, D10. D1, D2, D3. D1, D2, D3. They always forms inner orbital complexes. Even if it is a strong field ligand or weak field ligand, if there is central metal atom having D1, D2, D3, irrespective of the nature of the ligand, that complex always forms which complex? Inner orbital complex. If you want, you can check. Next, D8, D9, D10. D8, D9, D10. In these three configurations, always they forms outer orbital complexes. outer orbital complexes. D8, D9, D10. Suppose if the central metal ion having D8, D9, D10, not metal ion having D8, D9, D10, always they forms outer orbital complexes. Okay, next one. In case remaining is what? D4, D5, D6, D7. So let us see if del naught greater than P, del naught less than P. Let us see. In case of D4, how you will? This is a T2G and EG. This is T2G and EG. Now in case of D4, how you will write? We will write this as a 2, 1, 1. Okay, why? Because D naught, delta naught greater than, delta naught greater than P means it is a strong field ligand. So this is a strong field ligand against the Hans rule, 2, 1, 1 will come. Now in this case, D5 means 2, 2, 1 will come. In case of D6, 2, 2, 2 will come. In case of D7, next 2, 2, 2, 1 will come. So this is the configuration. Now splitting energies, if we calculate, how to calculate the splitting energy? The electrons which are coming into, suppose if it is octahedral complex, okay, if the electrons are entering into D2G set, it's decreased by minus 0.4, so that minus 0.4 into 4, so total minus 1.6. Next one, 2, 2, 1, 5, 5, 4 means minus 2.0 will come. So this is minus 2.4 will come, and this is again it will decrease minus 2.4 plus 0.6, that is 1.8 will come. So these are the crystal field splitting energies in case of the strong field. Now if we see the weak field ligand, if del naught value is lesser than P naught, if del naught value is lesser than pairing energy, now how the splits? D4 means 1, 1, 1, 1, D5 means 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, next D6 means 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, next D7 means 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So this is the configuration. Now tell me how many of electrons in D2G? 3. EG 1. So 3 into 0.4 plus 1 into 0.6. Okay, how much will come? That is equal to minus 1.2 plus 0.6. Total minus 0.6 will come. Next one, 1, 1, 1. So total value here 0 will come. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1 means it will be minus 0.4 will come. And this is what? Minus 0.8 will come. So they are showing different, completely different crystal field splitting energies in case of strong field and weak field ligands. So this is about the crystal field theory in octahedral, tetrahedral and square planar complexes. So concentrate more on this stabilization energies. Okay. Next move on to stability of these complexes. Stability of the complexes. Generally, we just have a look on it. Metal plus Ln will forms what? MLn. This is metallic complex. Okay, metal plus n number of ligands will get coordination complex, and that is what it depends upon formation constant. Formation constants. So, for example, M plus L will get Ml. Ml plus L will get Ml2. Ml2 plus L will get Ml3. Ml3 plus L we will get Ml4. Overall, M plus 4L we will get Ml4, like this. So here the formation constant K1, K2, K3, K4. So for overall formation constant is beta is equal to, how you will calculate now? Formation constant beta is equal to K1 into K2 into K3 into K4. K1 into K2 into K3 into K4. Sometimes what happens? This is what? Formation constant. Okay, a stability constant. Simply formation constant is nothing but what? Stability constant. And sometimes what happens? This stability constant they may give you, this K value they may give you log values also. Suppose if they given you log values, then log beta is equal to log K1 plus log K2 plus log K3 plus and so on. So if they given, why? Because log log beta is equal to log of this one. Log A into B is equal to log A plus log B. Na? So don't be confused. Sometimes they may ask you like that also. And also one more thing. Sometimes instability constant they may ask you. Instability constant. So first you calculate the stability constant by using this formula. Thereafter, instability constant, that is a beta prime is equal to inverse of this one. Na? So this is also very important. So they may ask you stability constant or instability constant. Factors affecting the stability of the complex. Factors affecting the stability of the complex. So in that stability complex, the first and the most, this is the priority order, not only the factors, on what factor we need to give more priority, that is also very important. Okay, so the first priority you should give to central atom. Central atom. Central atom. In case of central atom, the stability of the complex is directly proportional to charge over the central atom. First, very important. Stability is directly proportional to what? Charge. So sometimes what happens, it is directly proportional to size also. Size of the orbital. Size of the orbital is 5d greater than 4d greater than 3d. But it is less in use. First you should give to the charge only. So this is very first priority we should check. Just compare the two complexes. On which complex the central metal atom having the largest charge, more charge. Okay, plus 3 plus 2. Plus 3 is more stable. So stability is directly proportional to the charge. This is the first priority. Suppose if the charges are matched, then move to the next priority. That is what? Splitting energy, when the stability of square planar is greater than del O than tetrahedron. Just if the stability is not based upon charge, if this is a failed, if it is not same, then move to the next one. Check the coordination number or structure. If it is a square planar, no doubt it is the most stable. If it is octahedral, next stable. Tetrahedral, least stable. So this is the second priority. Even if the coordination number is also matched. Okay, even the second factor also not deciding factor. Then move to the third factor, that is what? Chirality. The complex which is having chiral chelating ligands. Chiral means not chirality, chelation. So the complex which is having chelating ligands are more stable. Complex which is having chelating ligands is more stable. So this is the third priority. Okay, stability is directly proportional to what? Chelation. If there was a more chelating ligands, more stability. And the next, even the third factor is also not decided. Then in the fourth case, in the worst case, check the strength of ligand. Strength of ligand. See, everyone will know the factors which are affecting the stability of the complexes. But what happened? They won't go in the priority order. Simply they know, yes, I know that the stability is directly proportional to strength of ligand. So this complex is having stronger ligand. So this is definitely it is a more stable, like that they make mistake. But don't follow, don't click the answer only based upon one factor, and the factor that you are deciding also proper order. First you should check magnitude of the charge. Okay, based upon the magnitude of charge, if you are not deciding, then move to the second coordination number. Structure. Coordination means splitting is sp and octahedral, tetrahedral. Even that is also matched, then go to the chelation. Which complex is having more chelation? Even that is also not deciding, then go to the strength. So stability is directly proportional to strength of ligand. Strength of ligand. So I will give you an example. See that Fe C2O4 3 2 plus. Okay. Next Fe NH3 6 2 plus. Next Fe H2O 6 2 plus. 3 complexes are there. By giving the 3 complexes, arrange the following in the decreasing order of their stability they give. Okay, so what do you think? See that first of all, what is the first priority or what is the order? First you should check the charge over the central metal atom. Okay, charge means you don't think that plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, don't think like that. Charge over the sphere is different, charge over the central metal atom is different. It's nothing but oxidation state. What is oxidation state here? Here the oxidation state is plus 3 and here plus 2. Okay, 3 minus 2, you do one thing, just 3 plus you keep plus 3 state and 3 plus you keep and 3 plus you keep. Why? Because we need to check all the factors, that is why I am giving the complexes like that. Now check the oxidation states for the central metal atom. Here iron is in plus 3 oxidation state, here iron is in plus 3 oxidation state and here iron is in plus 3 oxidation state. So the first factor, based upon the first priority order, first factor, we are unable to identify the stability. So okay, fine. Then what is that? Check the second factor. Check the coordination number here. Here coordination, is this coordination number 3 or 6? Coordination number 6 here, not 3. Why? Because oxide is a bidentate ligand. 3 to the 6, 6, 6 to 6. So that we cannot decide. So second factor also failed. What is the third factor? Chelation. See, this is the bidentate ligand, monodentate ligand, monodentate ligand. As we know, polydentate ligands only can form chelating, can show chelation. So chelation is the main factor here. By chelation, we can form that the first complex is the more stable, no doubt. First complex is the more stable. Then check the second and the third. Second and the third, both are having monodentate ligands. We cannot decide based upon third factor. Okay, go to the fourth priority. Now strength of the ligands. Check the ligand strength here. Ammonia and H2O. Ammonia is a strong ligand. So definitely the second complex is the second one and third is the third stable, least stable. So by following this priority, so knowing the fact is not only the problem here. Everyone knows. But on what priorities we are going to identify the stability, that is important. Okay, so that is about the factors affecting the stability. And the last 5 minutes concept, that is about the metal carbonates. Let us see. Metal carbonates, that is what synergism, effects of synergism. Synergism means, so I told you already, synergic bond is nothing but what? Coordinate pi bond. Coordinate pi bond. And here somebody may ask this question: why in the strength of the ligand, why CO and the Cl minus are strong field ligands? Why not NO2 minus is a strong field ligand? Why not the remaining ligands as a strong field ligand? Why only CO and Cl minus? This is one of the reasons. CO and Cl minus are the strong field ligands because of synergism. These two ligands are showing the synergism. You know, pi acid acceptor, pi acid ligands. What are the examples? CO, Cn minus. Next one is what? NO plus. After NO plus, PF3 and PH3 and PR3, PPH3. All are examples for pi acid acceptor ligands. Na? So these are the two ligands having the synergism. That is why they are acting as strong field ligands. How let us see what. CO means, see that because of synergism, what happened? The bond order. See that C. This is a metal. First of all, metal, and this is a CO. So what happens? First of all, it will donate the electrons to it. Sigma bond. It forms sigma bond. But this is having electrons. Okay, it is having empty orbitals. Because of empty orbitals and the filled electrons, what happened? It is back donating the electrons to it. This is what LUMO, lowest unoccupied molecular orbitals of CO. Because of that, what happened? Sigma, this is a pi bond. Finally, metal so this is a sigma bonding and this is a pi bonding. Okay, now what happened? Because of this formation of the pi bond, what happened? The metal carbon bond order, see, MC bond order. Because of this synergism, bond order, suppose if there was no synergism, only single bond. But because of synergism, what happens? Single bond becomes doubled. So bond order increases. If bond order increases, what happens? The bond length decreases. If bond length decreases, they come close to each other. Na? In a gas state, we discussed the forces of attractions are directly proportional to Q1 and Q2 and inversely proportional to distance. Na? Okay, so based upon that, if the bond length decreases, what happens? The force of repulsions increases. That is why CO and Cl minus are acting as a strong field elements because of synergism. Okay, now because of synergism, what happens? The MC bond order increases, bond length decreases. Okay, and bond strength decreases. Why? Because bond length decreases. Na? So the bond strength increases. And one more thing, they may ask you, because of synergism, what happened? The CO bond order, not MC, CO. Now suppose if there was no synergism between the carbon and oxygen, almost triple bond character is there. But because of this triple bond character decrease. So bond order, CO bond order decrease. CO bond order decreases means CO bond length increase. If the CO bond length increases, CO bond strength decrease. So these are the effects of synergism. Okay, effects of synergism. Sometimes what happens? They may give you the complexes. In which complex there are more synergism and less synergism, like that kind of questions also they may ask you. Let us see what. Always remember that the synergism is more in case of complexes having negative charge. The complexes having negative means complexes having negative sphere. Negative spheres are having more synergism than neutral than positive spheres. Very important. Based upon that, you can directly click the answer. Synergism is more in case of coordinations negative spheres than neutral than positive spheres. I just give you an example. Vanadium CO5 minus vanadium CO5 and vanadium CO5 plus titanium vanadium chromium manganese, or else MnCO5, you take MnCO5 chromium CO5 minus and vanadium minus 2, like this, and iron CO5 plus. Among these four complexes, in which complex more synergism? See that I told you already, it is more in a negative spheres than neutral than positive. In case of all are negative, check the magnitude of the negative. See here, this is the -2, -1, 0 and plus. Definitely there more synergism. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is greater than, 2 is greater than, 3 is greater than 4. Okay, so understood. One more thing, not only synergism they may ask you MC bond order, they may ask you. MC bond order. What is the relation to synergism and MC bond order? Synergism, if there was a more synergism, so what happened? MC bond order is lesser. Both are inversely proportional. So their MC bond order is lesser, and in this case MC bond order is more. Sometimes CO bond order they may ask you. CO bond order. So how to find out the CO bond order? Suppose if more synergism, less CO bond order. Okay, more synergism, less CO bond order. So before the synergism, CO having triple bond, but because of synergism, what happened? Bond order 3 becomes decrease, but MC bond order increases. Okay, sorry. Previously we did a mistake previously. In case of MC bond order, synergism and MC bond order directly proportional. More synergism, more bond order. But in case of CO bond order, both are inversely proportional. So this kind of questions they may ask you. So take care about this kind of model. So this is about the coordination compounds and colors. Colors of the complexes, already I told you the de Villard complexes. The color of the coordination complexes because of two reasons. One is what? Because of DD transitions. The second one is charge transfer phenomena, and one more thing, that is the stability of D5, means D5 configuration. D5 half filled configuration containing metal ions are also colorless because of spin forbidden. For example, you take, so this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You consider this is a weak field ligand. Let us consider not strong field ligand. In case of weak field ligand, all are having the same spin. Okay, is this same spin electron can go and pair up with the same spin electron? No. So because of same spin, so this electron is not willing to go under paired EG set. So in this case, what happened? The electron's excitation, de-excitation is not possible. So here also, in case of D5 configuration also, they are colorless because of no de-excitation and excitation. This is called what? Spin forbidden state. Because of spin forbidding, what happened? Half filled configuration. This is a D5 configuration containing complexes are colorless. And one more thing, actually the color of the complexes is depends upon, you just remember this simple strip: violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Actually the color, the light that the object is absorbing is a different, and the light, the color that they are, that absorbing light, absorbing color is different, reflecting color is different. Okay, absorbed is different, observed is different. Always absorbing color is red, then it's a reflecting color, observed color is green. Almost most of the cases it will be same. Okay, it is not effective for all cases, but 90% of colors, complementary colors, we can identify by following this. For example, if any for during the excitation, that electron is absorbing orange color, then what will be the color of this complex? Either blue or green, any one of these two, or intermediate of these two. Suppose if that electron is absorbing the light of green color, so then it may be red, orange or violet, any one of these. Like this, we can almost 90% opposite colors will come. In the very rare cases only the colors will change. Okay, so by following this, we can easily identify the color. Okay, so I think I covered few concepts about the coordination complexes, but make sure that you go through the NCERT without failing that. Why? Because this is very important chapter. So from this chapter, minimum of 3 questions, maximum 5 questions also we can expect. So don't leave this, don't skip this chapter. And one more thing, so I think this is the last class of me. Suppose if anybody having any doubt in a particular concept, you just give a message. I will make a short video and send it to you. Okay, thank you and all the best for your preparation.